Hey, this is Brent, and I want to show you how to use the geolocation example I created in iOS to use that same code on Android. Specifically, I want to show a couple of things you have to consider that are unique to Android, referring to permissions. So what I've done is I've copied the project and I've got it in a folder called geolocation_Android, and I've removed the app XML. And this is important. If you're taking one project from another and you want to create, from an iOS project to an Android project, I like to keep them separate just so I can maintain the differences easily. And one thing to do is to redo the app XML. Now, I've opened the project and currently it says error for iOS, so let's go ahead and change that to error for Android. Now, the other thing we need to do is we need to understand that the devices are going to be a little different. So, for example, the aspect ratio will be a little different. I want to set this up to, let's do the 480 by 800. So that means I need to line up my assets so that I can take up all this space. So let's do this a little bit differently. Show all, fit, show frame. There we go. So I'm just gonna move stuff around, set it up a little bit. You can do this, of course, yourself, change it up however you'd like. I want to give myself a little more room on this results page, results text, because that one I get a little more information. So I'm just cleaning it up. Obviously you can resize it however you'd like. Okay, now for the image, I want to keep everything the same. And again, make sure you watch the geolocation example for iOS that I created, because I walked through all the code. For now, I just want to show you that I'm not making any changes to the code itself. So it still runs. Let me just walk through this real quick. We check to see if we have a geolocation support. If we do, we create a geolocation object and add an event listener for the status. And then if we don't, I want to say sorry, and then I want to load a map. Otherwise, then we're going to add an event listener to my button on the stage. So then when I click that, if I have the geo object, then I'm going to call the set requested update interval, and then an add event listener for an update. So this will give me an update. Now, notice this comment that I've got in here. If this isn't working, sure to set permissions in the Air Android settings dialog. So that's what I want to talk about. Let's try this, and I'll show you what it looks like when it doesn't work successfully. So again, we get a status. When we get a result, then we load a map using the Google Static Map API. All pretty straightforward. Anyway, watch the other tutorial. That'll tell you what I did. All right, so I've resized things a little bit, and let's go into the edit application settings. Again, I've got for deployment, of course, use a different P12 file, right? It's a self-signed one. We want a device release, install and launch. And at this point, I don't have any permissions set. Okay, let's go ahead and publish this, see what happens. Let's look over to my device. I've got the Samsung Galaxy Tab. Excuse me, that is really cool. Check it out, Director MX 2004. Boy, those were the days, weren't they? All right, it's going to launch it and run it. Oh, there it is. And notice if I go ahead and click Get Location, it's going to say attempting to connect. Now, it's going to sit there and it's not going to do anything because what's happened is we haven't set some permissions. So notice if I click back over here, it says, hey, by the way, I just noticed as I was building this app that you don't have any permissions. Go ahead and select OK. Now, permissions, what do we need? Well, if we're going to load a file from the Google Static Maps API, we need access to the internet, right? So that's one. And then the other are these two right here, access find location and access course location. Well, what does that mean? That means that find location refers to a GPS unit on the device, and course location refers to being able to triangulate based on cell tower and Wi-Fi. So that's what those are. We want both properties. And so now let's try it again. I want to click over here, close the app. I'm going to go ahead and click publish. We're going to click back. It's publishing. We're waiting. Oh, here it comes. Wait. Oh, wait for it. Here it comes. Okay, now go ahead and check get location. Now it says attempting, retrieving, requesting map. Ooh. Requesting map. You know what? I didn't even check to see what internet this thing's connected. Oh, there it is. Look. Awesome. It worked. See, look, I got my latitude, my longitude, my altitude. Now, let's click that again. Let's see what other kind of information we get. Now, notice that it says horizontal accuracy and vertical accuracy 66. So that's in meters. And so this is really based on, it looks like what it's doing is it's pulling from the actual Wi-Fi. So kind of a course location. Let's close out of this. And let's see what I got. So I don't even have the GPS on. So if I go and turn the GPS on, now let's I can find the app here, geolocation example. See if we can get a better accuracy. Okay, so notice the accuracy went up a bit. It says 15. See if it improves anymore. And notice also that I'm getting an altitude. I didn't have the altitude before because I wasn't on the GPS. So now you see how I can get better results based on the GPS. So anyway, that's how that works, and it's really important to understand how permissions work. If you don't set the permission, then the app won't be able to access those things on the device. So anyway, just a quick video. Again, be sure to watch the other tutorial on setting up this geolocation example so you can get a sense for how everything works. And again, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you later.